anybody that is a Missouri football fan, what are they getting in Beau Pribula?
Yeah, I think Beau would be a good fit there. He's a quarterback who, if you're going to have a successful offense with him, it's got to be run first. You've got to run your quarterback a lot, which, I mean, Eli Drinkowitz is, in my opinion, one of the best offensive minds in college football. So I got no doubts he'll find a way to make it work. Good landing spot for Beau. He can go. He can start for 2 years, try and put some tape on film for the NFL before handing the reins over to Matt Zoller. So, I mean, a lot of Penn State fans were hoping for the Pribula to Zoller's bridge one day at quarterback, just at Penn State, not at Missouri. But no, I think that's a good landing spot for Beau. He's a great runner and a great athlete, a quarterback. His passing still needs some work. I mean, to his credit, his passing has come a long way since he started his collegiate career. I think a lot of people will look at the second half against Wisconsin where he made some important throws for them when he came in at halftime with them trailing 10-7 when Drew got hurt. Excuse me. And the Nittany Lions controlled the second half and won 28-13. Now, the one caveat I would say with that is some of the throws he made, they were good throws. But against some of those more upper echelon secondaries with, a little bit better athleticism and speed back there, some of those windows wouldn't have been there. But I think he's a quarterback who in the SEC is probably very capable of guiding you to 9 or 10 regular season wins with a good team around him. And in today's college football, with the 12-team playoff and 14 probably on the horizon, as you mentioned, a lot of years that's going to have you right there in the playoff discussion. So I don't think he's a guy that unless, you're talking one of those like Georgia, Bama teams of like the Death Star era for them, that's going to quarterback you to a national championship, unless he's just surrounded by buku talent, like a Stetson Bennett, for example. But he's certainly good enough to win you a lot of games, make some clutch plays, make some big plays with his legs, make the occasional big play with his arm. He's never going to be, I know when he came to Penn State, a lot of people, and it was a lazy comparison. He wore number 9. Their high school tape was similar. Everyone made the comparison to Trace McSorley. He doesn't have the deep ball arm that Trace McSorley did, but there are definitely a lot of similarities there. So as long as you don't expect him to be coming in dropping 50-yard dimes on a defense, I think he'll be a very good quarterback for Missouri, though. It was a situation. He was in a tough spot at Penn State. I mean, a lot of times he would have probably took over as a starter last year or this year and had a really good 2 or 3 year run starting quarterback at Penn State. But when you're in the same class as a quarterback like Drew Aller, it puts you in a tough spot. But it's not like he transferred out of Penn State because of a lack of talent. He wasn't the most talented quarterback on his roster, but there are very few rosters in the country where Drew Aller wouldn't be the most talented quarterback. So again, that was more on Drew than it was on him. I think he'll do a nice job in Missouri, and I think Missouri fans should be excited to have him.